Y'all don't need to see my socks. Y'all don't need to see my pants. Y'all don't need to see my Mario long sleeve. But let's get started right. Peoples! Oh my gosh, peoples! This chapter has been up since yesterday. How am I just now finding out that this chapter's been out? I've been looking on the side of Jamini's box this whole time, waiting for a chapter to come up, and I was thinking, this is odd that I haven't seen anything yet. Move my mic closer to me. I had no idea that this chapter was out already. And I hope you guys can hear me all right, because this is my first time using YouTube's live streaming versus me using my OBS. But let's just get on with it. Hold on, let me move this chapter off to the side so I can fully read it. Oh my goodness! I can't believe that this chapter's been out this whole time and I haven't seen it. But I figure with it being the last day of the year, I can give you guys the final chapter of One Piece in the year 2018 and also go through the whole One Piece reflections as well while we're at it. I mean, I'm live now, so we can kill two birds with one stone. All right, so let's check this out. This is 9/29. We got a good-looking cover here from Weekly Shonen Jump. Hold on, what is One Piece about? Cool K. Yo! First of all, yo, what's going on, Cool K? One Piece is essentially a manga that's been around since 1999, and it's a story about, it's the world of pirates. And there's this guy by the name of Monkey D. Luffy who wants to become the king of all pirates, because the king of all pirates who had that position previously, he died. Well, he was executed actually by the Marines, and he left his treasure. Like, he left everything that he ever owned as a pirate in one place. And the entire world of pirates has been trying to find this one treasure, because if you find this treasure, you become the king of all pirates, which is like the highest, it's like the biggest title that anyone could ever have. And there's the story is long. I'm not going to lie. The story is long, but it is amazing. And Ichiro Oda, who is the creator of this series, he's shown that he's an expert storyteller. So I would definitely suggest that you give this a read through if you get the chance. Okay, so I'm going to have to pop out chat off to the side so that way I can get both my face and what you guys say to me in the same instance. Because I really don't need to see my own face. I just need to be able to see you guys. All right, hold on. I cannot believe that this chapter has been out like this long. I can't believe this. All right, so we're at the Weekly Shonen Jump. We got Luffy here on the front. We got multiple other manga characters. I see Astra from Black Clover. I see Midoriya from My Hero Academia. I see a lot of people who are familiar to me and a lot of people who are not. Okay, let's go ahead and read through this. I cannot believe that I missed out on reading this chapter yesterday. I was playing Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories. By the way, I beat it this morning. I never have to play Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories ever again. Now I can move on to 2, but that's not important here. All right, we got a One Piece cover page right here. One Piece magazine goes on sale January 25th. Vivre card for the Baroque Works and Fisherman Island arcs on sale now. We've started official Twitter and Line pages, and now we're on Instagram too. Search One Piece _staff. We'll be blazing through Wano this year. Too. Happy New Year and a color cover to all. And then we got a fantastic looking color cover. Like, we got people. Oh, okay. So we got the whole Straw Hat crew decked out as if they're ninjas, with Robin and Nami both looking like kunoichis, but they're using guns. Nami's using like a handheld Gatling gun, and Robin's using dual pistols. Luffy, Usopp are looking like ninjas, with Usopp doing a shadow clone jutsu. We got Sanji throwing shurikens with a mask over his face. Brook being like a dead ghost. Frankie looking like whoever he is. Zoro using a Kusarigama. Oh, this takes me back to playing Neo. By the way, the makers of Neo are really excited to give us more information about Neo too. So hopefully we'll get some news hopefully we'll get some news very soon going into the new year. Onwards to the next one. I cannot believe that this chapter has been out this whole time and I haven't read it. I'm sorry, everyone. I had no idea. Chapter 929, Orochi Kurozumi, Wano Country Shogun. Wano Country Flower Capital, noisy. Just because the courtesan is an absolute babe doesn't mean you can ditch your work, fra boy. Yes, boss. Please forgive me. She was such a fine woman. Because in the last chapter, we finally see Kumurasaki, I believe her name is Kumurasaki, for the first time. And everyone is blown away by her beauty. I don't give a hoot. Look, I know you work enough for 10 men, so you can slack off every once in a while. But there's the matter of my own word and honor too, ya blockhead. Gotcha, forgive me. Leader of the legendary carpenters, Minatomo, the man who built Kaido's mansion? Yo! And this dude is weird, because he's got, like, nails in his nose. Like, why would you have those in there? That would hurt. But that matter you were going on and on about, taking a look at the blueprints for the mansion on Onigashima, right? Really? Will you really let me? Actually, I just remembered something. About 10 years ago, I pawned them. What? And he's laughing too. And he's laughing. Tee-hee. Tee-hee, you jerk. Dang it. Oi, what's the matter, Fanosuke? What happened? I only worked under you for all these weeks because you said you had those plans, dang it! Fra boy, how dare you grab hold of our leader? Oh, and he's got all these other students with him. Just who in blazes do you think you are, you lunkhead? Shut up, you idiots! Fanosuke Rancha! And they all get blown away. So the carpenters are fighting again, huh? Seems more heated than usual. That's it, you're fired. Get lost, nincompoop. Fine by me, I don't need you anyway. So the only reason why Frankie was working with Minatomo was so he can get the blueprints on Kaido's mansion, which will make infiltrating it a lot easier. Oh my, huh? Are you a fishmonger? What sort of fish is this? A bream. Does bream really look like that? Oh, it's Kanjuro. Where are you hurrying off to? Franosuke, Kanjuro! What the heck sort of vendor are you supposed to be? You're sticking out like a sore thumb. Look, kids have even started to gather. Kozuki family retainer Kanjuro of the Evening Rain. How in the world should I cook this? Oh, so that's a pretty good cover. He's using his devil fruit ability to draw things to make himself look like a fishmonger. Of course, Kanjuro is a horrible artist, so his stuff looks weird. And kids are pointing at it. What's this? Listen, I've got bad news. I was way off the mark. Pawn shop. An item from 10 years ago. Mansion blueprints. Things like that don't often come through here, so I suppose it must be that. What? Do you really have it? Well, no, it's been swept away, naturally. Who bought that thing again? Oh, that's right. Tamagoro from the Longhouses. He said he wanted to study it. Who? Blueprints? Yeah, I had them a while ago, but I let the rent pile up and the landlord carried them off. Mr. Kobe did. Who? Blueprints, eh? They certainly were quite nice. I gave them to my favorite geisha, my dear Kisegawa. Did you know her? Why would we? These blueprints are getting passed around like crazy. I didn't really think what they were, so I used them as a coaster for a pot. And then Tokijiro, yo, Frankie is running all over the place just trying to find these blueprints. And he's running everywhere. Yeah, I had them, but then Camel said they'd sell for a pretty penny, so I took them. So he took them. Camel, and Frankie's running everywhere. And he's getting out of breath too. Wait, Camel, an animal. I'm Camel, all right. Those blueprints put me through it. Really put me through. Some guy stole them off me. He had his face hidden and everything. He said he was from Kuri. Kuri? Kuri, an abandoned village. Oi, Kinemon, I give up. What did you say? The blueprints to Kaido's mansion are in Kuri? It appears so. What do I do? I apologize for putting you through such trouble, Fanosuke. Help out with some other mission in the capital. Got it. Don't worry. Gotcha. Who possibly could need Kaido's mansion blueprints? Perhaps Lord Duke Keen. Simon Logetown? Please don't. Lord Duke Keen. We've stolen quite a lot. Oh! Yo, it's Wanda! I haven't seen Wanda in forever. Lord Duke Keen. We've stolen quite a lot. Food and weapons from the factory. We can get more, but Kaido's lackeys have started noticing. Ah, well done. Did you leave the card? Yes, of course. And it says, the head mountain bandits were here, Shuten Maru. I wonder if this trick will work. At the very least, the man himself will get mad. Wano country ruins of Kibi. If I'm with you, mister, I won't be missing any meals. If I'm with you, mister, I won't be missing any meals. Look, can you shut it just for a while? And this person is just laughing. 'Cause it's Zoro! Where has he been? Eeyore, shut it! How kind of you! Taiko drum carrier Tono Yasu, also known as Yasu. Shut it! How kind of you! I suppose it's hard to worry about someone else's throat like that, no? You pretty boy, I bet the girls can barely keep their hands off you, young mister. Look, I appreciate you paying for my sushi, but... Nonsense! No need for thanks. I realized it the moment I saw you. I couldn't go wrong if I followed you. I knew it. Who is this dude? I paid my last 2 pennies and then I was flat broke. The rest was luck. And then you, at that next inn, you gambled big, and you kept winning. They sure were mad. Those gamblers came after us with katanas in the air, and you threw them this way and that, this way and that. Who is this guy? I didn't say anything, but normally no one messes with those guys. They're the Yakuza of the capital, underlings of the Kiyoshiro clan. Seriously, I was beyond scared. If I was a girl, my knees would have given way. Ew! Who is this guy? I feel like I've seen this. I feel like I've seen this place before, Kasu. Oh, I feel like I've seen this place before, Kasu. Kasu? Ah, you're not wrong, but it's Yasu. The city you see in the distance is the flower capital, and right in front of it is a little hamlet called Leftovers Town. That's my town. Why hamlet? You'll see once we get there. Who is this guy? Flower capital, Orochi Castle. You sure you aren't after opening the borders? You lot. To fight with pirates, you buy weapons from pirates. What a strange idea. Your intermediary, Joker, or Doflamingo, is gone now. How long has it been since we've heard the name Doflamingo since we've been to Wano? And now that you've lost your screen to hide behind, you've got no choice but to come negotiate with me directly. Yo, it's CP0! You're panicking, and that means I can scalp you for all you're worth. That being said, this is a pretty pickle indeed. Yo, it's CP0! My Wano is self-sufficient. Look around you, the people seem quite happy, don't they? Yo, is this Orochi? If there was anything we desired, it'd only be more power. The last time, we went with battleships. But this time, we want Dr. Vegapunk. What? Yo, is this Orochi or is this someone being an intermediary for Orochi? Because this dude saying like last time we bargained, we got your battleships, but now this time we want Vegapunk. Yo, that is impossible. And then a gunshot goes off and shoots one of the guys in the head. I'm not asking you if it's possible or not. Celestial dragons, the Marines, know this. We do not fear them. Even if all of you banded together, you'd never topple this country. I have Kaido himself at my back. Yo, and then all of a sudden, his body starts to shapeshift into some Hydra heads, like Yamata no Orochi type heads. I have Kaido himself at my back. And then the doors open, and then he's walking out. Lord Orochi! Not a care in the world. Everything's ready. Not a care at all. Tonight's menu is chicken raised in the beautiful Orochi plantations, stuffed and quickly cooked. Don't feel like chicken. Yes, sir. We'll toss it all out. Next, delicious vegetables. Don't need them. Fatty sublime mackerel. Mackerel's my favorite. And for sashimi, we have tuna. Tuna's the best. The sake is the brewer's best. And what about the women? We've brought in all the popular geishas. Raise your heads. And we have all these long lines of beautiful women everywhere. Ah, so resplendent. Sing, dance, without a care in the world. Komurasaki, so you're here too. I've been waiting to meet you. Me too, your majesty. Bah! And he's staring, and he apparently staring at her with hearts in his eyes, and he's surprised. Is this what Orochi looks like? Come, next week is the Fire Festival. Let this be the opening battle. Wano Country Shogun, Kurozumi, Orochi. Enjoy. This is Wano Country. Don't confuse it for heaven. Eat and drink your heart out. And this doesn't even look like the final page. And then we have a portion of the panels where it's zooming out from the capital, like the beauty of the capital. It's zooming out from there, and then it's starting to show all the devastation that this beautiful country has brought about. And now we're cutting to we're seeing some factories now with the smoke billowing out. What is it? What happened? Oi, go hide somewhere, Blackleg. Traffy? Why? If they've come for more, I'll give them as much as they can handle. No, not that. These people know who we are. Yo, Trafalgar! The flying fighters are here to kill the Soba merchant. The 6 strongest headliners, 2 of them, Drake and Page 1. Drake? It's DS Drake! Why'd they call us specifically? And why are you here, Hawkins? For show? For show, right? That's always important. I came here in pursuit of a specific man. 100 Beast Pirates Flying Fighters, Page 1. Dragon Fruit, Ancient Type, Model Spinosaurus. Yo. We finally get the name of DS Drake's Devil Fruit. 100 Beast Pirates Flying Fighters, DS Drake, Dragon Fruit, Ancient Type, Model Allosaurus. So he's not a T-Rex. He's an Allosaurus. Yo! We finally get the name of DS Drake's Devil Fruit, and we get a brand new ancient type. We got more! Page 1, who can turn into a Spinosaurus, and DS Drake, who can turn into an Allosaurus. Yo! I came here in pursuit of a specific man. This is Basil Hawkins. I thought you have something. I thought you have something you hunt that's more important to you than this mission, Drake? Yo, chapter 929 end. Yo! What a chapter to end the year. Wow. Okay. Is there anything after this chapter? No, that's it. That's the end of the chapter. Okay. Let's go. Okay, now I can pop this chat back in. I can pop it back in. And I can full screen this. Okay. Let's talk about all the things that happened in this chapter. Can we talk about how Frankie was just working with the legendary blacksmith dude in order to get his hands on the blueprints of Kaido's mansion? And they had an altercation. He started fighting with all the people, all the other carpenters that were there with him. And he got fired. But now he started to search out for the blueprints because apparently they've been pawned off through I don't know how many people. Because every time Frankie tried to go to one person and find those blueprints, he would go to another person and he would find out that, hey, I sold them off to somebody else. So that was going on. And then we see Wanda. We haven't seen Wanda in a minute, but apparently they've been stealing food and supplies from one of Kaido's factories and been leaving cards to make it seem like Shuten Maru's been the one who's been stealing them, if I'm reading that correctly. And they're all preparing for the fire festival. Then we cut to somebody talking in the flower capital, and it turns out to be Orochi himself having a discussion with CP0, no less. Negotiating, like, since Doflamingo no longer has access to weapons or anything, he's now negotiating with the Marines, and the last time they had a transaction between one another, Orochi ended up getting some battleships from them. But now the ante has been doubled since Doflamingo's out of the picture, and now he wants Vegapunk. And in retaliation for CP0 saying, hey, we can't do that, that's impossible, Orochi shoots one of the guys in the head, but it doesn't look like it does any damage because the guy was still sitting upwards afterwards, if I was looking at that panel correctly. But wow. You guys can hear me, right? I was just making sure. But yeah, because check. Oh yeah, it's working. It's working. The little dot wasn't moving at all, so I couldn't exactly tell if you guys could hear me or not. But Orochi shoots one of the CP0 dudes in the head, and he was all like, "You think the Marines? You can band together all you want. No one is going to topple me, and no one's going to topple over this country. You can band together celestial dragons, Marines. We don't fear any of them because Wano is like its own separate nation that is pretty much powerful enough to be exempt from anything that goes on in the outside world. Celestial dragons, forget them. Marines, psh, they're not worried. Because they got some ridiculously powerful people there. Not only that, but Orochi himself says he's got Kaido at his back. And who wants to go up against Kaido? I mean, we've seen what he's capable of. One-shotting people by himself, using just his brute strength and ridiculous speed. Then he leaves out, leaving CP0. And all these people start to surround him and try and give him different things that he may want for the fire festival. If he wants vegetables, if he wants sashimi, if he wants sushi, if he wants chicken, he's all like, no, I don't want this. Then he gets introduced to Komurasaki, for the first time, and he's awestruck by his beauty. And then we see him for the first time. Dude did not. I had so many different images of what Orochi could possibly look like in my head, but I did not expect him to look like the One Piece version of Wario. I did not expect him to be like this short, giant-headed dude. Like, he looks like he could be related to Raizo. He's like got this giant head, but a small body, and he's the Shogun of Wano? I was not expecting that at all. Like, his whole overall design surprised me. And he's getting prepared, was hoping he was going to be cool looking. Instead, he's awful. That's the thing about Oda. He'd be surprising you. Like, you could be thinking like, oh, wow, this dude is the Shogun of Wano. He's made it so that Wano can never open their borders. He looks like he has a devil fruit that can turn him into the Yamata no Orochi monster. He literally boiled and killed everyone in the Kozuki family except for Momonosuke and his sister. And he's got all these numerous people supporting him. Even Kaido, one of the Yonko behind him, he obviously looks cool. Fast forward to chapter 929, and he's essentially Wario. It's me, Orochi. Welcome to Wano country. That's essentially what he is. But leave it to Oda to almost as worse looking than Treble. Shinde. Yeah, that's seriously how it is. But wow, I was not expecting that, to see Orochi like that. Like, you beef up this dude, he's powerful, and he's Wario. Then we cut to like the outskirts, and we find that Zoro is stuck with this dude named Yasu. Apparently, he's met up with him because, you know, Zoro. I don't know how Zoro ended up where he was, but apparently he's found his way back to the Flower Capital. Was he at the Flower Capital at all? I think he was when he was about to be executed for a murder that he didn't commit. But he's now found his way back to the Flower Capital, but it's in distant. He sees the Flower Capital, but it's actually, I want to say, Leftovers Town. And yes, it was Leftovers Town, not the Flower Capital. He's making his way to the Leftovers Town. So hopefully we get to see what happens then. The chapter didn't say that we were going to be on a break next week, so I don't have to worry about that. But overall, then we cut to the last half of this chapter, and we see Law and we see Sanji. They're still in the Flower Capital, and apparently they got some flying fighters who are part of Kaido's crew, who are going to be coming to kill the Soba merchant, which happens to be Sanji, which is the cover that he's working under. Because in the previous chapter, we all know that he beat up the merchants who wrecked his stand and ruined all the food. And Sanji proceeded to beat him down along with Frankie as well. And apparently he's having some headliners coming after him to kill him because of the incident that transpired. But Law's all like, no, you need to disappear. We need to get gone because these guys know who we are. And the headliners that we see are none other than Basil Hawkins, Diaz Drake, and another headliner by the name... Zoro and Sanji haven't met each other in Wano yet, have they? No, they haven't. As far as I know, they have not. They've been separated, and they became even more separated when Zoro was riding on the back of the lion dog towards the Kurozumi ruins. He literally got lost riding on an animal. How is it you're sitting still and you still get lost? So, no, Sanji and Zoro, they haven't met up with one another. But the headliners we see coming to take the head of Sanji, even though they don't know it's Sanji, is Diaz Drake, a headliner by the name of Page One, and Basil Hawkins. But it's actually just Page One and Diaz Drake who are coming to take Sanji's head. But we also finally get the type of devil fruit and name of Diaz Drake's ability. And it is the Dragon fruit, ancient type, model Allosaurus. Here's the thing. I thought he was a T-Rex this whole time. But he's an Allosaurus. And page 1, which is a new person that we're just now getting introduced to, he is a Spinosaurus. So now we're getting like the big old crew we're getting the main crew that's from the Jurassic Park movies. Like we got the Allosaurus in Fallen Kingdom, and we got the Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3. Now we just need a T-Rex to come in from Jurassic Park 1, and I think we'll be fine. Yes, we're getting a ton of more dinosaurs. So we got an Allosaurus and we got a Spinosaurus, and they're in the same category as Jack because Jack is a mammoth. So it's like, I'm just glad that we finally got a full-on description of Diaz Drake's ability. All 3 ancient types under Kaido. Yes. He's got Jack, who's a mammoth. He's got a Spinosaurus, and he's got an Allosaurus. Because Wano is a closed country, they don't have news from outside, so Zoro won't know Sanji's bounty. Yo! Due to the events of Whole Cake Island, Sanji's bounty is now higher than Zoro's, and Zoro doesn't know it. Yo, that rivalry is just going to increase after Zoro learns this. But with the events of Wano, I would not be surprised if Zoro's bounty grows higher than Sanji's. And Sanji, I can picture it right now. Sanji's gloating over Zoro, saying, hey, guess what, Mosshead? My bounty's higher than yours. And then a day later, we get the news coup system from Big News Morgans. And it comes in, and it shows that Zoro's bounty has gone like a smidgen higher than Sanji. Like, wouldn't that be like a stab in the ego for Zoro's bounty to go higher than Sanji's, but just like a small margin? And Zoro would just hold that over him forever. Sanji raid suit this arc, hopefully. Yo, that's right. He does have it. But the reason why he hasn't used it is because he kind of wanted to cut ties with his family. Could we see an opportunity where Sanji uses his raid suit? Huh. Thank you, Hinata. I never really thought of that. But he still has it. He hasn't used it, but he still has it. So could we see Sanji with his own suit-up sequence, just like his family did in the anime? Could we see him wearing the raid suit in the Wano Country arc? That's got me thinking now. But, and that's pretty much the whole chapter. I mean, we got Diaz Drake and Page 1 looking for Sanji because they intend to kill him. And then it doesn't say that we go on break next week. So I am looking forward to the next chapter. There's not much more I can say on this chapter. I mean, I can always go back and read through it and just take note of all the things that have happened. But this is really a good chapter. This is actually a really good chapter to cap off this year on. And I didn't bring this up in my previous videos, but so far I've done over 100 videos for One Piece, reading through these reactions. I honestly did not think that I would get this far to about 100 videos. I'm not in the stream right now because I still got to do the reflections on all these chapters. All the chapters that we got this month. We only got 3 chapters, chapters 927, 28, and yesterday's chapter 929. So I'm going to be going through those, and then I'll end it right there because what a year for One Piece. From going into the Reverie, the end of the Whole Cake Island arc, going into the Reverie, and then going into Wano, seeing Kaido at his strongest, finding out that he's pretty much Shenron. Only he doesn't have a limitation to wishes. He just does as he wishes. And then we have the first reveal of Kurozumi Orochi, finding out that he's Wario. Then we see Kumurasaki for the first time. Wano's #1 leading... I kind of don't want to use the word, but she's Wano country's most beautiful and leading lady in the Women of the Night. I'll just leave it at that. Then we see a bunch of people. We find out that Ace has been like, let's just start from the beginning. Okay. let's just start our reflections of all the chapters. From Carrots to long form, Dragon Kaido, Luffy being called the next emperor. Oh, right, Blackbeard. I forgot. Yo, we're gonna go through that. We're starting the reflections of the month of December and doing a live reaction. Doing a live reaction and doing the reflections of the month of December for One Piece all in one go. So starting off, we got chapter 927, which was Otoko the Kamado. And this is when Sanji reunites with Usopp, Robin, and Frankie as he starts his own cover as a soba merchant. Then some of the henchmen that come in, they wreck his shop, and then he wrecks them along with Frankie. Then we meet a girl named Toko, who turns out to be a Kamado for Komurasaki. Hold on, let me get these off to the side. Let me get these synopsises off to the side, so that way I can see what you guys are saying. We get Toko, who's a retainer for Komurasaki, and we find out that Komurasaki is like is Wano country's most beautiful, well, corner girl. And we find out, like, okay, hold on, let me get a short synopsis. Yeah, we meet her and she eats Sanji's food and she loves it. Then she goes off to attend to the courtesan Komurasaki, who's heading to Orochi's banquet. That's the reason why Komurasaki was passing through town, because she was making her way to Orochi's place in order to take part in the fire festival, and because Orochi requested her himself. And then we get Kiyoshiro getting the news about Sanji's actions, and being too busy to deal with them himself, he has his subordinate Suke contact Queen to send assassins after Sanji and Frankie, who we find out in today's chapter, well, yesterday's chapter 929, that it turns out that these assassins happen to be Page One and DS Drake themselves. So, and that's chapter 927. It was a short but sweet chapter, but it was good to see Sanji go back to his cooking ways. Like, first of all, you don't disrespect food in Sanji's presence, because he would literally wreck you. Komurasaki versus Boa Hancock and Shirahoshi. That's actually going to be tough to actually decide, to be quite honest, because Boa Hancock and Shirahoshi are held up in the world standards as the most beautiful people in the world, with Shirahoshi coming out just a smidgen further, because I believe some part in One Piece stated that Shirahoshi, like the mermaids of Fishman Island, their beauty is greater than Boa Hancock's, or the mermaid princess. Boa Hancock's beauty pales in comparison. But Komurasaki versus Boa Hancock and Shirahoshi, that would actually be an interesting beauty battle, if there is such a thing. I wonder if there is such a thing as a beauty battle. I don't know. But Boa Hancock and Shirahoshi versus Komurasaki. Here's the thing. Komurasaki uses her beauty because she a gold digger. Like, if you remember in chapter, like, let's go ahead and read through it right now. In chapter 928, which is titled Komurasaki the courtesan appears, or the Oiran Komurasaki appears. It depends on which translation you're using. We find out more about her and we see her for the first time. And throughout this, first off, in this chapter, Luffy meets up with Caribou. And Caribou starts to explain, like, hey, I've been here longer than you, and I want in on this escape plan that you got going on. And then he also starts to talk about Kid, who we at first come to believe that he loses his arm with fighting with Big Mom and her pirates. And Kid comes along himself and says, no, I didn't lose it with Big Mom and her pirates. I lost it to Shanks and his pirates. So that's the reason why his mechanical arm, I know it looks like I'm holding up my right arm, but this is my left arm. For some odd reason, my camera is reversed. But Kid lost his arm to someone from Shanks' crew, which is also kind of the reason why he wants to take Shanks down, because, well, he's got a personal stake in it now. So Luffy meets up with Caribou, and he works with Raizo. Raizo is in the prison mine, and he's able to disappear and come and go as he please, because he's like, you know, a freaking ninja. But we find out that Kid to escape. Kid and Luffy are both working on trying to escape from the prison. In the Flower Capital, we find that some men have actually come to kill Komurasaki because she has wronged them in the past. I am from Thailand and Happy New Year. Nafat Channel, welcome! Robin wins the beauty contest. Would you be saying that if you looked at her face fault when she found out that Luffy lost to Kaido? Because I think that one panel of her face might take a couple points off. But then she gains it back when you see her regular face again. But in the Flower Capital, a bunch of men come to kill Komurasaki because she's manipulated them in the past. And they get done in. And we cut to one man who we see like his whole interaction with Komurasaki. And we find out that she's manipulated him into selling his family, his home, his livestock, everything that belonged to him on the prospect of spending their lives together. So when it comes to the time where he's there to pick her up and say like, hey, let's go ahead and live together. I finally paid for you. So now we can go live with each other. When he gets there to get her, she's like smiling real coy, you know, like, thank you for all the money. And we find out that she's just a straight up gold digger. And now the rule in the Flower Capital is if you're poor at all, if you have no money at all, you are exiled from the capital. And Komurasaki even said herself, like, I despise people who are poor. Like, straight into the dude's heart. He was genuine when he wanted to buy her freedom in order for them to live with each other. And then she says, I despise people who are poor. And the dude gets kicked out of the Flower Capital, never to be seen again. So she gets to keep all the money and none of the fuss that comes with, you know, having to deal with them. She better be Momo's sister, otherwise Oda is just playing with us. Here's the thing about Oda. He knows exactly how to make us think one thing and then go completely in a different direction. And did I completely skip over the fact that Blackbeard is there? I think the chapter with I think the chapter with Blackbeard was in the last month's reflection. Yeah, it was Blackbeard. It was back then. And then we cut to Momo where he says that I got a sister, and if Orochi finds out about her, then it's going to make our plans to overthrow him extremely difficult, if nigh impossible. So it's implied, like the way that the paneling is in 927, when it cuts from Komurasaki and then it cuts to Tama speaking to Momo, it's like it heavily implies that Komurasaki could be Momo's sister, because the wording he says, like, if my sister's still alive, she'd be 26 right now. And it's kind of funny how Komurasaki looks like she could be 26. So it's implied that the imaging implies that Komurasaki could be Momo's lost sister in some way. But it's not actually confirmed. Love your Blackbeard impression. Why, thank you. If I could do much better, then I'll be sure to bring you more Blackbeard in the future. I love doing Blackbeard's voice. I just love it. Especially with Cole Brown's rendition of it, may he rest in peace. Because I'm just wondering, with him gone, who are they going to get to voice Blackbeard's English dub voice now? I mean, I'm so used to hearing Blackbeard's country southern drawl now that I'm used to it now. But only time will tell. It's only a matter of time. But overall, these chapters, and that's chapter 927, 928. Yes, he was great as Blackbeard. That was 928. And then we cut to today's chapter. I've already read through that. And if you guys have been with me this long, then you guys already know the events that happened. Frankie gets fired as a cop. I'll just go through a short synopsis just in case you're joining for the first time. Frankie gets fired from his job as a carpenter, and he's running around all the Flower Capital just to find the blueprints of Kaido's mansion, which his boss traded away many years ago, and then it's been stolen, then it's been given away, and then it's been passed back and forth, and Frankie can't find it. Wanda and the rest of the minks are there with Inuarashi, and then then we find CP0 there speaking and negotiating with Orochi himself, and Orochi doesn't want anything else but Vegapunk. He wants Vegapunk. I don't know why he thinks he can get Vegapunk, because Vegapunk, in my eyes, is possibly the most valuable asset that the Marines have at their disposal. Not the admirals, not Akainu being up there as the fleet admiral now. No one in the Marines, I think, is more highly valued than Vegapunk. I mean, it's because of Vegapunk that they have pacifistas. It's because of Vegapunk that they've learned how to put devil fruits into inanimate objects in order to cause those inanimate objects to come to life. It's because of Vegapunk that Bartholomew Kuma is the way he is. Vegapunk is literally, I can see Vegapunk as like the most valuable person that the Marines have. So them trying to trade Vegapunk over to Wano themselves, it's not going to happen. Because I believe that if Fleet Admiral Sakazuki, if he wanted to, he would sacrifice everybody in the Marines in order to keep Vegapunk out of anyone else's hands. That is what I honestly believe. And with it being Akainu, I mean, sure, he would. Akainu, Sakazuki, however you want to call him, he's still Akainu to me, regardless if he's a Fleet Admiral now. He will always be the Red Dog. So they're trying to negotiate. Orochi's trying to negotiate, saying like, hey, we're not scared of you Marines. We're not scared of CP0. We're not even scared of celestial dragons, because none of you, even if you join together, would be able to break this country, not so long as I rule over it. And he's just brushing off CP0. He's just brushing him off. He even shoots one of the dudes in the head with a gun. Akainu the GOAT. Welcome, Marine Admiral. We're just going through the One Piece chapter 929 live reaction, and I'm doing my reflections all in one go. Wow, 47 minutes. I can't believe I've been going on for that long. Hope you guys have been enjoying so far. But Orochi's like, dude, none of you, even if you joined up together, would ever topple this country. This country is great because I'm over it. And even if you tried to come up against me, I got Kaido at my back. So he leaves them in the dust, and he starts making his way through his whole mansion. And he's all these retainers and all these people are trying to give him food that he wants to have for his festival. He's all like, no, I don't want that. Don't want it. But I want that, though. And he's having all these courtesans lined up in front of him, including Komurasaki, who I believe he's meeting for the first time. And he's in awe of her beauty. Vegapunk will destroy Wano. Vegapunk, I feel like he's smart enough, like he'd be able to do that. I mean, if he knows how devil fruits work. I mean, he was able to copy Kizaru's Pika Pika no Mi, his glint fruit, and put it into other things. He was able to take a devil fruit ability, a Logia devil fruit, no less, and put it into something else and replicate it perfectly. The only thing that he couldn't possibly replicate is its full extent, like being able to travel at the speed of light. But he replicated his ability to shoot out lasers. Like, if Vegapunk can do that with just pacifistas and create pacifistas themselves, I would not be surprised if Vegapunk has a way to destroy entire countries. I mean, Caesar worked under Vegapunk, and Caesar had this one weapon that caused this massive explosion that covered Punk Hazard, and it kind of left it in the state it is now. Like, aside from, don't you hate it when you have a burp but it doesn't come up? It's just like, oh, you thought I was going. Oh, no. But Caesar created like this big massive weapon, and he detonated it, and then it caused Punk Hazard to become like a desolate area. Then Akainu and Aokiji came to that area of Punk Hazard and turned it into the permanent hot, cold island that it is now. So if that's something that Caesar can do, it doesn't surprise me that Marine Admiral, don't be extra like that. I'm trying to keep this clean, so that's unnecessary. But it doesn't surprise if Caesar is able to come up with a weapon that destructive, then I'm pretty sure that Vegapunk could come up with something even twice as destructive as that, even something that's far more damaging than a Buster Call. So there's that. Then we see Orochi for the first time, and we see him like subtly transforming when he's speaking to CP0. We see him subtly transforming, like we see multiple heads come out of his body, like his normal head turns into like one part of the Orochi monster. But we see him for the first time, and he is nothing like I was expecting. Like I've already said this earlier, but he's essentially One Piece's Wario. Like, oh, sorry, I didn't know you were keeping it PG. Well, here's the thing. I can't control what anybody says. It's just that I would like to keep this, you know, kind of clean a little bit. Like I said, I have no control over what you say, but I want to try and keep this clean. Just PG-13 at the most. I just want to keep it like, you know, smooth and buttery for everyone who comes in here, whether they be young or older. I kind of want to keep it, you know, mellow for everybody. So that's just me. Like I said, I'm not telling you what to do. Don't know how old the people watching this is. Yeah, I don't know either. It's been a while since I looked at the analytics, but demographic tends to be like from teenager to like 20 to 30s last time I checked. But that's only like a handful of people sometimes. But we see Orochi for the first time, and he's essentially One Piece's Wario, only without the hat. He's got a mustache and everything, but he's just missing the hat. And he's just chilling with everybody. He's got all his retainers there as they're preparing for the Fire Festival. Then Zoro's out there somewhere with some dude named Yasu, just traveling with him that he came across while he was out there. And Zoro's making his way to Leftovers Town. Then we cut to the Flower Capital, and then Sanji's there, Trafalgar Law's there, and he's saying like, "Hey, you dude, you need to hide because the Flying Fighters, which is like another set of headliner groups, is there to come after Sanji and Frankie for taking down some other henchmen, headliner henchmen." And we see them. Jeffrey Giordano, welcome to the stream. I might be ending it here in a minute because I've been carrying on for almost an hour now. But because I just wanted to cover all the real basics of the One Piece chapter. I had no idea that this chapter had come out yesterday. Like I was too busy playing Kingdom Hearts yesterday. I was so preoccupied. I'm happy to say that I finally beat Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories. I never want to go through that whole card system again, but I digress. This is a completely different subject. Back to One Piece. Did you notice Orochi's top knot on one of the dragon's head? Maybe he's really strong since he has a good control over his devil fruit. Yes, I did notice that. I noticed that out of the heads that came out of him, one of them still had his top knot. So I'm pretty sure that that's the main head. And then the rest of them, I wonder if he can control them independently, or do they have independent thoughts of their own? Like, is it like, do they all have their own thoughts of their own? And do they sometimes argue? Like, that's a theory of mine. If he becomes like a full Orochi form, do all of the heads act in unison, or do they act on their own accord? That's the one theory that I'm having. But the headliners that we see from the Flying Fighters, we see is a new person by the name of Page One, who can turn into a Spinosaurus. And he has like hair off to the side. Like he has like long hair just like draped off of his head. And he can turn into a Spinosaurus. We get the name of that devil fruit. It's the Dragon Fruit, ancient type model Spinosaurus. And then we finally get the name of Diaz Drake's devil fruit, which is the Dragon Fruit, ancient type model Allosaurus. I thought he was it now confirms that DS Drake does not, in fact, turn into a T-Rex. Even though he does appear like one in the anime and the manga, he turns into an Allosaurus. And we see him in his... like, this is the first time we actually, in that panel, we actually see him in his hybrid form. We see him combining both his Allosaurus form and his normal human body, because at any other time, we only seen him turn into an Allosaurus. But we've never seen him be a hybrid of the two, because you know that Zoans can become, if it's in a human's case, they can become a regular human, a hybrid, and then the full-on animal that devil fruit Zoan is. And this is the first time that we see DS Drake in a hybrid form of the two. And then we have Basil Hawkins there as well, and he's like wondering, like, what are they doing there? So let me read what you guys say. Page 1 versus Sanji next chapter. You know, it would be funny if that fight is what causes Sanji to use his raid suit. Because these are headliners and they're strong. But then again, they're strong to a certain degree because Luffy has already beaten 2 of them. Well, the second one with the help of Kid. He beat Doban with Kid's help, and then he beat Hold'em by himself. So I wonder how strong they are. I mean, if they end up fighting, then this will be another supernova fight. Because this will possibly... I think this might be the first time that Sanji is actually meeting one of the supernovas. Is it? Because I know all the supernovas were on the Sabaody archipelago all those years ago. But Sanji has never officially met one of the supernovas, has he? I don't think he has. I'm actually trying to remember right now. Has Sanji ever met any one of the other supernovas before? Because you got DS Drake is part of the supernovas of the worst generation, and so is Basil Hawkins. But I don't think he's actually ever met one of them before. I don't know. But that'll be interesting to see, actually. But let me read to the rest of what you guys said. Page 1 versus Sanji, next battle. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if that fight brings out his raid suit, but that's only if the fight is serious enough. Page 1 is the coolest name I heard in a while. It actually is when you think about it. Like, this dude's name is simply Page 1. Are there pages 2? Is there a page 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? How many pages are there? Is there a whole book of pages? I just had a thought. If this dude's name is Page 1, is there other people with page with different numbers, and do they all combine together to form a group called the Book of? What if they're like the Book of King, or King's Book, or Queen's Book, and Queen's Book, and these are all of their pages? Like, whoa, that might actually be cool. Do you think Drake and Hawkins will join Luffy and Kid and Law? I don't know. I honestly don't know. And I'm just now remembering, no, this is not the first time that Sanji has met a supernova, because he met Kabong Kangbeg. And yeah, so Sanji met Law and Kid in Slave Shop and probably used Raid Suit against the Calamity. But yeah, officially he's seen them in the shop. He's seen them in the slave shop at the Sabaody Archipelago, but he officially met Capone on Zou. So that is his first official meeting, like conversing with a supernova. So there's that. Do you think Drake Hawkins will join Luffy, Kid, and Law? I don't know. It only happens he met Law on Punk Hazard. Oh, right, I forgot. Yeah, he did. He did meet them on Punk Hazard. I'm still reading through all of One Piece, like just going back and officially reading all the mangas, like the paperbacks. So I haven't got to Wano. I haven't got to Punk Hazard yet. I'm still in Fishman Island. It's actually been a while since I picked up my manga and actually sat down to read it. I've been playing games constantly. But I wonder. The only way I can see Hawkins and Diaz Drake joining with them is if they have some ulterior motives for actually working with Kaido. Because I'm pretty sure, because we still got Scratchman Apu out there somewhere, because he's with Kaido as well as Hawkins and Diaz Drake. So we have yet to see where Scratchman's at. We have no idea where Apu's at, but he's somewhere. The last time I checked, wasn't Apu with Scotch, which is one of Kaido's subordinates? Wasn't the last time we saw Apu was him being where Scotch was? Last time I remember. But the only way I would see Hawkins and Diaz Drake joining up with Sanji and Law is if they got some ulterior motive to secretly actually join in with Kaido's crew, and they actually want to take him down themselves, which would mean that if Hawkins, and this is just a theory, if Hawkins and Diaz Drake join with Law and Sanji, then they join up with Luffy and Kid. We'd have Luffy, Kid, Hawkins, Drake, possibly Zoro. So we would have like 5 supernovas joining together to take down one Yonko. And then we have Jewelry Bonnie, who's up there in Marijois still. We have Mad Monk Urouge, who's out there somewhere as well. Capone Gang Beg, who's out there somewhere. And then we got Blackbeard doing his own thing. So that's 4 other supernovas who are not currently accounted for. Am I missing a supernova? Oh, Killer. Killer's out there as well. I have no idea where he's at. Where is Killer? We haven't heard much from him. We've seen a lot of the supernovas, but we haven't really heard much from Killer. Like last we seen Mad Monk Urouge, he was up on the Sky Island that Kaido jumped from. Jewelry Bonnie's in Marijois. Scratchman Apu is somewhere with Kaido, with one of Kaido's subordinates. Basil Hawkins, Diaz Drake are now in Wano, along with Law, Luffy, and Kid. Capone Gang Beg is sailing out somewhere. Blackbeard is on Beehive Island, having a party, just having himself a good old time. What's Killer doing? Huh. Luffy, Zoro, Hawkins, Drake, Law, and Kid mate 6. Yeah, I miscounted. My apologies. Half of supernovas, at least, in Wano at the same time. Yes, this is the most that we've seen the supernovas in one location ever since the Sabaody Archipelago. And that's where they all were there, save for Blackbeard. Because I believe he was out either trying to take down Ace or just doing his own thing. But let me read the rest of what you said. Sanji met Law and Kid and probably used Raid Suit against the Calamity. The ones they beat are separate units. These ones are called the Flying Fighters. Okay, yeah. Supernovas versus Kaido. That would be a surprising fight, to be honest. He met Law and Punk Hazard. Theory, Page 2 is being sent after Zoro since he messed with the Kiyoshiro's men. I would not be surprised. But I'm still going with my theory that what if there's like numerous pages throughout Wano and they all answer to a calamity? Oh, Blackbeard is worst generation, not supernovas. I don't know the difference. Hold on. Let me actually look this up real quick. Supernova. One Piece. Worst generation. Okay, when I type in supernovas, it pulls up the worst generation. So supernova and worst generation is the name that they have for them. So, consists of the top rookie. Refer to 12 individuals consisting of the 11 top rookie pirates that arrived at the Sabaody archipelago before the Battle of Marineford and the Yonko Blackbeard Marshal D. Teach. They are famous for the bold actions committed against the world government and have bounties of over 100 million berries. Okay, so yeah, so supernovas are the same. It's just the worst generation is the name of them as a whole. But they're individually known as supernovas, but their group as a whole is known as the worst generation. So they're essentially the same thing. Okay, Luffy and Zoro are supernovas. Last time we saw Scratchman the Pooh, he was ordered by Kaido to pick up Jack from the bottom of the sea. Luffy, Zoro, Hawkins makes 6. Blackbeard is worst generation on supernovas. They are the same. Okay, yes. Okay, so there's a lot to take in just from this month alone. Now, I have to say, and this is, I'm done with my reflections. All these chapters that have been coming from One Piece in the month of December, they have been excellent. And they've been setting up like the massive battle we are going to see in Wano. This is large. This is going to be larger than the fight that we had from Whole Cake Island. And that pretty much was just a majority of all the crews trying to get away from Big Mom. This was yet another situation where the enemy was stronger than all of them, and they had to run away in order to save themselves. First time we saw this was in Sabaody Archipelago, where they tried to face off against their first time facing down an admiral that actually wanted to take them out. The last time they faced off against an admiral was Kuzan, and he actually didn't want to just like straight up kill them. He just wanted to. It wasn't really like a real fight, because if Kuzan wanted to kill them, he would have. But the first official fight where they could not win was at Sabaody Archipelago. And then the second fight where they could not win was back in Whole Cake Island, because Big Mom just turned into an unbeatable tank. Like, she literally, you could not stop her at all. Even when her body started to slowly get emancipated from not eating anything, she gained all that mass instantly when she ate all of Sanji's cake. But this I don't know how this is going to turn out for Wano. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how this is going to turn out for Wano with all these many big names in one place, with Kaido there, with Orochi there. Like, just how strong is Orochi for him to be the Shogun that no one would dare speak out against or even act against? Like, how bold is Orochi to be for him to demand that the Marines give over Vegapunk for their trade, because Doflamingo is no longer available to get weapons now? So overall, as a whole, not just this month of One Piece in December, but this entire year of One Piece has been nothing short of amazing. Now, I know there have been some chapters that were kind of, a little bit on the lesser side of how full they were and how much information they gave. But overall, this year for One Piece has been amazing. Like the Reverie, the ending of the Whole Cake Island, finding out that there's an actual king over everything in the entire world. Like, there's secretly a king that rules over everybody, but only people that know that are the Gorosei. And then we have the fact that Luffy is slowly trying to learn how to see into the future, like Katakuri. Then we find out that there is a devil fruit that allows people to travel forward in time. Then we find out that Kaido is Shenron, who can nuke places with his fire breath. Then we find more calamities that outclass Jack in strength to the point where he's nervous to be around them. Then we find out that CP0s in Wano, they are everywhere the Straw Hats are. They were in Dressrosa when they went there. Then they were in Whole Cake Island when they went there. Now they're in Wano. Everywhere the Straw Hats go, CP0 is always there. We had Stelly, who was a CP0 operative, working to find out what was in the Tamate Bako. And then she escaped Whole Cake Island with Big News Morgans. Then we had CP0 orchestrating the whole fake news in Dressrosa about Doflamingo rescinding on his position as a warlord. Now we have them in Wano negotiating with Orochi, and Orochi wants Vegapunk in return. What are they negotiating? I don't know. What do you think about what I say about Kiyoshio? He has that evil smile in this chapter. We've seen Kiyoshio have some ties with Komurasaki. What do you think of him using her to assassinate the Shogun, since we've seen Kiyoshio call the Shogun a coward? Huh. That'd be interesting. That would be an interesting dynamic there, because Komurasaki is so beautiful that even Orochi is awestruck in her presence. So that could be used as a distraction to cause Kiyoshiro to backstab him and then rescind and then pretty much usurp the position of Shogun. That's an interesting theory. Wouldn't put it past me, though. Bigger than Marineford, especially when Big Mom gets there. Yes, because apparently Big Mom is heading to Wano, or wants to kill Luffy. So I would not be surprised if she heads to Wano. One Kaido. Not one Kaido, but one Yonko is enough. If two Yonko meet up, I don't think Wano country is going to survive. And I thought that Dressrosa was devastated when Doflamingo tried to do that birdcage. If two Yonko meet up in one location and they start fighting, the country is not going to survive at all. Like, Kaido is capable of, if he wanted to, he could destroy that entire country by himself. I mean, he cannot die. He's tried numerous times, from people trying to kill him to him trying to kill himself. He cannot die, from what we've seen. And then Big Mom is essentially like a living immortal tank. The only time we've actually seen her take damage is when she was crying over the picture of Mother Caramel. But I'm pretty sure she's over that now. Wonder if Orochi has an artificial devil fruit like Momo's. Interesting theory. I'm sticking with my theory that he actually has a mythical devil fruit type, because we've seen that there's ancient Japanese mythical Zoan types that exist, with Katarina Devon being like a prime example. She can turn into a Ninetales that allows her to turn and transform into different people. So the idea of Orochi being able to turn into the fabled Yamata no Orochi, it doesn't seem as far-fetched. So if he does turn out to have like an artificial dragon devil fruit like Momo's, sure, that's cool. But if he turns out to be like the mythological Orochi monster itself, then, well, I wouldn't put it past Oda, because he likes to incorporate a lot of different monster designs. A lot of different Japanese mythological creatures into One Piece. Like Ninetales is one thing, and then we got like Journey to the West with a bunch of the characters being references to that in One Piece. So I wouldn't put it past him. Does Sanji stand a chance against Hawkins or Drake at the moment? It's hard to say. Momo's Devil Fruit wasn't perfected. No, it wasn't. But does Sanji stand a chance against Hawkins or Drake at the moment? Well, we've seen that Hawkins himself is quite strong. If Zoro actually acknowledged this, because we first see Hawkins use his straw fruit for the first time and cause like a giant scarecrow to shoot nails out and try and fight Zoro, and Zoro himself says like, wow, this dude is strong. And even when he was shooting nails out at Zoro was saying like, wow, this is a powerful attack. So for Zoro to acknowledge that Basil Hawkins is strong in his own right, I would say this. I would like to think that Sanji may have his work cut out for him. Now, that's not. This is just me not taking the raid suit into account here, because it might be neck and neck. I don't want to say that Sanji's not capable, because we still haven't seen like the full extent of his capabilities. Like, we haven't even seen the full extent of Zoro's capabilities, and we've seen him literally slice through a giant mountain-sized Pika with no effort at all. And this is him just covering his swords in haki. All other times he was contending with Pika, but it wasn't until Pika tried to launch at him in the full, in like One Piece versions of full cowling, in full haki, that we see Zoro just go beyond that level of haki and slice through him. But even then, we haven't seen the full extent, because I'm pretty sure Mihawk has taught Zoro a lot more than just simply coating his weapons in haki so that his weapons never chip at all. I mean, that's the reason why Mihawk's sword has never been chipped in any way, because he coats his sword in haki. Now, of course, we've never seen him actually do this, but, well, yeah. We've never seen the full extent of Zoro's capabilities, and we haven't seen the full extent of Sanji's. So I wouldn't put it past Sanji for him to put up a very good fight against Basil and Drake. And matter of fact, we haven't even seen the full extent of Hawkins or Drake, especially Drake. We've never seen him use like a full named attack at all. We've seen it from we've seen it from Capone, we've seen it from Scratch. Well, I think we've seen it from Scratch. We've seen some named attacks from Scratch. But we have not seen any official attacks from DS Drake, and we've seen him fight. So I can't wait to see how that actually turns out. Let me see what you guys said. Momo's Devil Fruit wasn't perfected. Top 3 Supernova without Kid, Law, and Luffy. Urouge, top 3. He beat Snack. Simon Loketown, I'm going to have to ask you to stop, because I will not answer those questions, and they will be deleted every single time. I'm trying to keep this clean. So you typing up messages like that, they're unnecessary, my dude. Top 3 Supernova without Kid, Law, and Luffy. I would go with Urouge. Nah, fam, you got 2-shotted by Dofi and got his knee cracked by Virgo. But we still don't know. I mean, we still got base Sanji, and we still got Sanji that hasn't used his raid suit. So I don't know. It's up in the air. I can't say. I cannot say, because I could be completely wrong if I say that Sanji's capable of beating them both. And we haven't even seen what they're capable of, what Basil and Drake are capable of in a fight. Like, we've seen a little bit of what Hawkins can do, but not Drake. So now I'll leave it at that. My hands are tied. I ain't gonna say no more. But I would go with Urouge. And I'm gonna include Jewelry Bonnie, because I'm wondering about her history with Kuma. How does she know Kuma? Like, it appears that she knows Kuma when he was the king over. Hold on, let me pull up where he was a king over. Former king of the Sorbet Kingdom. She appears to know him from back those days. Urouge, Blackbeard, and Hawkins. Oh, Blackbeard is crazy strong. I'm still wondering, like, can he have more than one devil fruit in him? Because we know he has 2. He's the first person in the series to actually use 2 and not suffer the rumored effects of it. But I'm wondering, does he have more power? And like, we know he's crazy strong, but the dude is just kind of lackadaisical a little bit. He's just sending his subordinates out to do a whole bunch of different work, just to find more devil fruit users and steal their powers so that they can have more power. Like, Absalom is gone, guys. Absalom is gone. He's dead. Shiryu now has his devil fruit. Then we have Katarina Devon, who can turn into a Ninetales, which is like a step upwards from Raid suit. Is not that much OP as you think. Do you remember his siblings wearing their raid suits and Ichi still got beaten off screen by Katakuri? True, there's that. But I think it lies into the skill of the user. So I would say, like, the raid suit is kind of like a bit of a power booster, but it only goes so far. Like, sure, like, Germa is like a technological marvel when it comes to these sort of things. But I think the reason why Ichiji lasted so long is because he has that exoskeleton, as we know. Sanji doesn't. he's the only anomaly among his siblings that doesn't have that enhanced durability that his siblings have. Because I feel like even though Ichidi still got beaten off screen by Katakuri, I feel that like he probably would have been killed had it not been for that exoskeleton that was, you know, genetically modified into the Ichiji, Niji, Reiju, and Yonji. But Sanji doesn't have that, so he's more susceptible to damage, which could lead to some problems in the future fights. But I kind of wonder what his raid suit would do to help him out. I mean, he's already powerful in his own right. I just wonder what a raid suit would do for him. But Blackbeard, Shiryu has the Rain has Absalon's ability. Katarina Devon has Ninetales' ability. Jesus Burgess tried to get aces, but now that's in the hands of Sabo. And seeing as how Sambo is clearly stronger than Burgess, they're not going to be getting that fruit away from Sabo anytime soon. And not to mention, the Revolutionary Army is already going toe-to-toe with Fujitora and Ryukyu right now on the Reverie. They just started their assault to try and get Kuma back, even though it's been stated that could be no way for Kuma to get his memory back. That's not saying that there's no possible way, because, well, we're speaking in a chapter where Wario is leading over Wano. CP0 has been secretly working with them, and this, like, I don't put anything past this series anymore. I don't. I don't put them past, like, we got time-traveling devil fruits. We got people who can turn into dinosaurs. We got people who can literally peel off their cheeks and turn it into Kibidongo that can calm down animals and even people who are smile users. So I don't put anything past this series anymore. If you got like a cutting board that can suddenly shoot out ice, I would not be surprised. Still want to know what Shanks did at Reverie. I want to know too. How is it that a Yonko so renowned as Shanks managed to infiltrate into Marijois, no less? Literally the holy land where the celestial dragons themselves live, the most secure place, the most powerful place in the world. How is it that Shanks managed to get in there with absolutely no trouble at all? And then he had enough pull to speak with the Gorosei and leave, no problem. And so, yeah, I'm wondering. He said he wanted to speak to the Gorosei about a certain pirate. But at this moment, we don't know what pirate he was speaking about. We don't know if he was talking about Luffy. We don't know if he was talking about Blackbeard. So I would like to know that conversation too. I would also like to know what happened during the Payback War. There are so many fights going on in One Piece that we're not seeing. We didn't see the Payback War where we got to see the Whitebeard pirates, the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates faced off against the Blackbeard pirates. We didn't see that. We didn't see the battle between Kuzan versus Akainu. I would love to see that and how they managed to change Punk Hazard into the permanent dual weather island that it is now. And then we hear that the Revolutionary Army is fighting with Admiral Ryukyu, who we have still yet to be fully introduced to. They're fighting right now. And we don't see any of this. This is just going on in the background. Oda has just been teasing us. Like, yay, you guys, I got these awesome fights that are going on, but I'm going to have people talk about it instead. Just teasing. All right. Yes, it is powerful, but would you call it foolishness if Sanji got boost from it that would push him from being beaten by Dofi easily to a high commander level such as Queen? I would call shenanigans on that if the raid suit by itself managed to boost Sanji to the point where he could go toe-to-toe with a commander. Just by the raid suit himself. By the raid suit itself. I would call shenanigans on that. Because then it would kind of render all of Sanji's training moot if it takes an additional piece on him to make him powerful enough to take down someone that could be at commander level. So I really hope that Oda does not go that route, because that's kind of not who Sanji is. He doesn't really rely on outside sources to win fights. I mean, there is that one fight where he was fighting that dude on the train during the Ennie's Water 7 arc, I want to say. where he was fighting this dude using knives. I think that is the only time I've ever seen him actually use handheld weapons. And he was just fighting the dude, just chopping up the noodles that the guy was using to attack Sanji with. So, but I would think that Sanji has a bit more pride in him where he wouldn't rely on the raid suit to help him fight somebody unless it was an absolute last resort. We are 80% into the story and still don't know the capability of top tier characters going fist to fist. It's kind of disappointing. Yeah, we don't know the capability, the full-on capabilities of Mihawk, because all the times we see Mihawk fight, he has not used his full strength. Like the time in Marineford where we see him just casually. We are not 80%. Oda is lying. Yeah, I don't think we're 80% done with the story. I don't think we're anywhere near done with One Piece. We still got a long way to go. I feel like we're still, I feel like, me personally, I feel like we're still just scratching the surface of what is going on in One Piece, because there's just too many things unexplained. And I feel like if it was 80%, there still wouldn't be enough percent left to fully explain everything. So I don't think we're 80% in. I think whoever that reporter said like we were 80% done, I don't think he was going off of Oda's word, because I still think we got a lot more One Piece to go. I've been carrying on for about almost an hour and 30 minutes just talking. I love it. But my thinking is, what was I talking about? Yes, when it comes to power scaling and the capability of top tier characters like Mihawk, for example, during Marineford, he's just casually attacking. He's not attacking seriously. Like when he sent that slash towards Whitebeard that got intercepted by Diamond Jozu, he was just testing. I want to test the distance between us and that man. Like, I just want to see what is the. No, I am talking about all these off-screen fights like the Payback War and recently Marine Admirals. Yes, we're seeing. Yeah, okay. So I'll cut back to that. We got all these strong people, and we don't even get to see them fight completely to their fullest extent. Like Fujitora, we saw a little bit of what he was capable of, but even then, he said himself that he was just testing his strength. Like when he pulled that giant meteor down, when he confronted Doflamingo and Trafalgar Law down on Green Bit in Dressrosa, he was just testing his strength. I just wanted to test my strength a little bit. So he just pulls a meteor from space and just crashes it down in the whole area. And the only spaces that are left untouched by the massive crater that is left by that is just the areas that those three individuals are standing on. And then when he fights fights Sabo, he's able to go toe-to-toe with a Logia user, unscathed. He's able to go toe-to-toe with a Logia user unscathed. And he almost, it's like he's able to go toe-to-toe with Sabo is the chief of staff of the Revolutionary Army, second only to Dragon himself. So, and we see Fujitora is more than capable of holding his own in the fight. And the fact that this dude is doing all of this blind. This dude is blind, using only observation haki itself just to see his surroundings. And he's able to fight people as if he can see, like effortlessly. Then we have Ryukugyo. If I remember correctly, dude hasn't eaten in, I want to say, years. He said himself years, because he said, what if he runs into like a hot chick or a hot lady someday? He can't just be eating all willy-nilly. Which makes me wonder, is there a chance that Ryukugyo gets fat at times, and does that tie in with his abilities? I don't even know. This is just a random thought that I just had. Like, hold on, let me pull up Ryukugyo, because dude said he's not eating Ryokugyo. Yeah, I was pronouncing his name wrong the whole time. We haven't seen his whole appearance. Let me see. Where is it? Where's the history? Yes. Not much is known about Ryokugyo's past, but during the past 3 years, Ryokugyo has completely refrained from eating. This dude has not eaten in 3 years. And this includes the 2-year time skip where he's part of the draft that Fujitora is a part of. And he's still regarded as a monster. How is it possible for a person to go 3 whole years without eating? And then he's still strong enough to be in the same, held up in the same regard as Fujitora. So it makes me wonder, like, how powerful is he to go up against the Revolutionary Army as they're fighting in the background? Like, the Payback War and the Revolutionary Army fighting one another. It's just, come on, Oda, let us see what's going on. I don't care if you have to go like a flashback all the way towards the Revolutionary Army fighting everybody. I just want to see that. Show us the fights you have not shown. Show us Aokiji versus Akainu. Show us the Payback War. Show us the revolutionaries going up against the admirals in Marijois, no less. And this is going on during the Reverie. So we still got a whole bunch of big names there. I wonder if they're fighting too. Like the people from the different kingdoms, are they participating in this fight? Or are they just casually having this Reverie while the admirals are facing off against the Revolutionary Army? Or while they're trying to rescue Kuma? I don't know. But these are things that we must know. What do you miss from pre-time skip One Piece compared to the post-time skip? Pre-time skip versus to the post-time skip. I wouldn't say I necessarily miss anything, because I like the direction that the new world is going in right now. But I will say who I miss, though. It's not so what I miss, but who I miss. I miss all the people that Luffy's beaten. Where are they right now? What are they doing? We haven't heard from Don Krieg, not Captain Kuro. We haven't seen, like, we know what Buggy's doing. He's running his own delivery service, and he's part of the Warlords now. We haven't seen, and Alvida's with him as well. We haven't seen anything from Arlong. We haven't seen Arlong in about a minute. All the people that Luffy has beaten in the past, we haven't really seen much of. Now, we've seen Crocodile just a little bit, and I believe he was reading a paper on something that was happening still during the... I believe it was when the newspaper was going around telling the world that Luffy is considered the next Yonko, the 5th emperor, that we see like a small panel where Crocodile is just reading this in the newspaper. We see Crocodile, but we don't know where he's at right now. He's traveling with Daz Bones right now, which is aka Mr. One. So we know where Crocodile is at, but I would love to know what the people that Luffy has beaten in the past, what are they doing right now? That's what I would like to know. So it's more so of who I miss rather than what I miss, because there's not too much from the past, from the pre-time skip that I actually miss, because there are some things in the post-time skip that actually proves upon. See, because in the pre-time skip, Luffy was like extremely emotional, and he would let that drive his actions, and that would put him in dire straits. But in the post-time skip, he's come to consider his actions just a tad bit more, and I say a tad bit because he still gets heated whenever you threaten his friends. So there's not too much I consider that I miss, if more so the people that I miss. So that's just me. But this has been a crazy, once again, this has been a crazy year. Favorite warlord, do you think the world government will attempt an assassination on the other warlords like they did on Moria? Here's the thing, though. We still got to take into account that Fujitora is still pushing to completely abolish the warlord system. And if that actually happens, I'm wondering what is going to become of all the warlords who are still available now. Boa Hancock and Mihawk, and apparently Edward Weevil. Like, what's going to happen to them? What's going to happen to Buggy if the world government no longer sees warlords as a necessity in order to keep pirates in check now? Because now pirates are getting to the point where they're growing beyond the control of the Marines, and the warlords themselves are no longer going to be an effective deterrent for up and coming pirates trying to, meddle into the world government's affairs. So I'm just wondering what's going to become of the warlords should Fujitora's dream of abolishing the whole warlord system come to pass. But that my thing is the only way an assassination attempt would be even remotely considered is if there's a warlord that is not fulfilling their duties and they are not meeting the requirements necessary of a warlord, which is i.e. not being beaten in any way and doing whatever the world government says. Unless a warlord falls under any one of those categories, I don't think we need to worry about anyone trying to assassinate Boa Hancock or Mihawk for that matter. I mean, they wouldn't be able to because they're like some of the strongest people in the entire series. Like, there's some of the people who have yet to receive any type of damage in any way in any fights they've been in at all. Like, there's a handful of people that received absolutely no damage whatsoever during Marineford, and that was an entire war. And out of all the warlords, Doflamingo, back when he was still a warlord, Mihawk, Boa Hancock, and Bartholomew Kuma, there are some of the individuals who have yet to receive any damage in any way until recently, with Bartholomew Kuma being used as a personal punching bag slave for the Celestial Dragons themselves. But Mihawk and Boa Hancock, if there were ever to be an assassination attempt on them, it would not work. I mean, think about it. Boa Hancock resides on one of the most dangerous places on the planet. And you would have to go through all of her Amazons who are able to use armament hockey on arrows before you even remotely get to her. And even when it comes to her, she still has the ability of the Love fruit, which can essentially turn you to stone when she hits you. So there's no recovering from that. If you get hit in the head by one of her kicks and it turns your head to stone and it gets broken, you're not repairing that at all. It's not like, oh no, if she just disables her ability, then my head goes back to normal. No, if she cracks your head is cracked. So, and that's just Hancock. Mihawk is still, and until Zoro actually beats him, the world's greatest swordsman. No one is ever going to beat him in any regard until Zoro does. And even Mihawk is like, well, you're the only dude I acknowledge right now, so surpass me. So I'm not worried about them. All right, my favorite warlord, however, is Mihawk. Like, dude has been so chill since we ever seen this series. He's been ridiculously strong, and he does it with no effort whatsoever. He's the most serious, most calm, collected dude. Dude does not overreact to anything. He is in control of himself at all times. Like the first time we see him when he's fighting Zoro, he doesn't consider Zoro an opponent worth using his black sword, Yoru, on. So he just uses the little necklace that's around him. And that's enough to literally fight on par, not even fight on par with Zoro, just surpass Zoro. Like, who brings a butter knife to a sword fight and wins? I don't know anybody else who can do it. Not that I'm aware, but Mihawk has got to be one of my favorite warlords. I think I have him in my top 3. Mihawk, Bartholomew Kuma. Yeah, I still like Kuma, even though he's being abused by the Celestial Dragons right now. He's still my favorite. He's still one of my favorite warlords because of what he did to save the Straw Hats. If it wasn't for Kuma, the Straw Hats would be dead. So, Mihawk, Bartholomew Kuma, and Boa Hancock. Those are my 3. But if I have a top one, then it's Mihawk. I agree, and let's end this once and for all. Who is stronger, Sanji or Zoro? That's a touchy subject. There's a lot of Zoro fans, and there's a lot of Sanji fans. Is the sword of Mihawk literally black, or is it covered in armament hockey? I don't know, because it's literally called Yoru, which means night or midnight. So I don't know if the sword itself is perpetually black, or if it's black because Mihawk is always infusing it with armament hockey. Because we have seen him without it, and we've seen him not actually physically touch it, because we've seen it strapped to his back, and it's always black. So I wonder He did say to Zoro, like, if you learn to coat your sword in hockey, it can become like my sword. So I'm wondering, his sword might actually be black, but when he taught Zoro how to coat his swords and armament hockey, he said that all swords can become all swords can become like my black sword. So yeah, just like he said. But I think his sword is just black, though. He's just that strong, and he doesn't really need to use armament hockey at all. I just think he's that strong. He's just teaching Zoro how to do it, so he doesn't have to worry about wear and tear on his swords. But going back to what you said earlier, Sanji or Zoro, who is stronger? I cannot say, and I'm not going to, because that is a very touchy subject. There are numerous upon hundreds upon thousands of Sanji and Zoro fans who are split between this. I have seen arguments in comment sections for YouTube go back and forth about who is stronger, and I can't give my opinion on it at all. I can't. But this has been a phenomenal year for One Piece. I cannot wait to see what the next year is going to bring for us. Since we're not getting a break this week, hopefully this week we'll be seeing the first chapter of One Piece in the year 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an honor for me to bring you over 100 videos of One Piece over the course of, well, my entire YouTube channel. I hope you guys have enjoyed so far. We can only go up from here. Hope you guys enjoyed. I cannot wait to see you all in the next video in the new year. I cannot wait to bring you more One Piece. We got One Piece World Seeker coming out next year. So best believe I'm going to be bringing it to this channel. I mean, but this year has been amazing. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Hope you guys have a happy new year. And I cannot wait to see you all in the next video. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples. I'm just gonna end it here. To 2019.